Marquise.
Hi, Alana.
Welcome to the Book Down. For those of you who do not know, this is my stepmother. Yes. We were both J-Sette, so. All right, so we're going to get into the question portion. These are some questions that the fans asked. So, what was a typical game week like for J-Sette?
Typical game week. One thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is just how much goes into preparing for a game. Games are on Saturday, but even Sunday, we're beginning our process of, staying in shape. We work out. On Monday, we would work out for 3 or 4 hours and hope that we would be able to go home and get some homework done or something later. But for sure, on Tuesday through Friday, we would be at practice from 2 to 5. We'd have a break for dinner and just rest, and then we'd come back from 6 until we got finished that night. So every night was a busy time, but you had to learn how to balance so that you could, be prepared and look your best and be fresh for games on Saturday.
That's definitely different from what we did. We practiced from 6 until, we were done, but we didn't get a break in between any of that, so.
We had to arrange our class schedules to make sure we were finished by 1 o'clock every day.
What?
Yeah, because we had to practice, we had to be there at 2 o'clock, and sometimes we had to go a little bit earlier so that we could, get penalty laps out of the way, those wonderful laps.
And
anything that happened, if your fringe came off, if your makeup wasn't right, you had to run laps, and so you might have to get there a little bit early depending on how many penalties you had. Every now and then we'd have to practice in the mornings, so we would have like 5 o'clock practices, and we'd meet on the track and we'd do laps. One year we actually had a dancer who was allergic to the sun, so we couldn't practice from 2 to 5.
Right.
We had to get up and practice early, and then we had to kind of arrange it so that she was covered whenever we went outside. If we had day games, we had to make sure she had a cape on, then she would only get on the field, she would dance, and then as soon as we were done, she was already kind of wepping up from the sun, and we'd have to cover her and rush her on off. But she was a great dancer. So.
Wow, didn't I know that? Yeah. Well, so you said you had to arrange your schedule. So how was it like maintaining being a J-Sette and your academics? You still had good grades? You still had to maintain the GPA?
I did.
Of course.
I was proud to say I graduated magna cum laude.
Yes.
So I had a 3.8 something. Graduated with honors. It was really, really difficult, but you had to figure out a balance.
Yeah.
If you didn't figure that out from the beginning, once it got too far into the semester, you were pretty much done. One thing about our director, Miss Otis, she actually would tell us, bring your books. If there's a subject you have work due, she would give us the time to go over to the side to get the work done. But games, practices, none of that was an excuse. Your teachers, they still demanded that you meet their requirements and get your work in.
Right.
I liked school anyway, so it was okay for me, but it was wonderful to be able to help my sisters and get them through their coursework as well. So it was a challenge, but you have to learn to balance.
Okay, good to know. So how did J-Sette impact your future career of being an educator? Did it impact it,
Oh, definitely. One thing about being a J-Sette, I think it's leadership training, actually. And once you're exposed to, having to come up with uniforms, having to design them, or if you order a unitard, using your creative influence to cut this piece away and to do this to it, add some fringe. It gives you insight, and it stays with you for the rest of your life. As an educator, I began as a math teacher, actually, at Jackson State. So I was able to teach the I Love. Yay. Yes. Taught math there for 10 years, and then I went to Hines Community College, and now I'm a dean of instruction. And everything that I do, I understand the building blocks were set while I was at Jackson State. I do take pride in the fact that I graduated with honors, but you still have to be able to live, and you have to be able to transcend from book knowledge to life knowledge.
Yeah.
And J-Sette really helped me with that. It gave me a confidence that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. I'm a choir director now as well at my church, and all of the leadership, being able to listen to the different voices, you're listening for a blend, but you're also listening individually. Well, all of that, I think, falls back from being a J-Sette.
Yes.
When you're looking at your front row, your middle row, your back row, and you're looking at all these different pieces, you want one cohesive picture, but you've got so many different moving parts. So all of it kind of works together. And I appreciate the fact that I was able to march. I gave it what I could, and I love coming back for the reunions. We've got our 50th coming up. Yay!
Are we gonna see you there?
Gotta be there. It's gonna
Okay.
be awesome and amazing.
Yes.
So we're all preparing for the 50th. And again, it just stays with you. It's leadership training.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody who's interested in being a J-Sette, don't lose yourself in the process. There's a lot of glam and a lot of attention, but the basis of it is being able to be a follower and then step out and be a leader when you need to.
Okay, love that answer. Yes. Let's see. Last question: how was it like being captain? So of course you got your leadership training, but how was it like actually being the captain of the J-Sette? I know that's a huge title to hold.
Being a captain, it definitely is humbling. I was a co-captain my 3rd year, so I was able to kind of take a back seat, so to speak, but we still had responsibilities. My captain year was interesting because we were kind of in a transition. Things became a little bit more scrutinizing. I think the media, it kind of began, everybody was videoing, and different aspects of the squad were becoming more public. And so we had to be very careful how we presented ourselves, always classy, always, remembering that we're ambassadors. And as a captain, I think I tried to, depict that in everything that I did, but I also encouraged our girls, to hang in there, to stay in school, to do what you need to do, remember to put God first in everything. We would go to church together, and I love the fact that you all still do that. It definitely was a humbling experience. Everybody can't captain. You've got some great captains, you've got some good captains, and then you've got some solid captains. But being a captain, I think, it pulls so much out of you because you're stretched. You have to report to your director, you have to report to the band, you have to report to your team, and then there are the individual young ladies. And anytime a group of young ladies get together, you're gonna have some interesting drama.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it definitely taught me a lot about sisterhood.
Yeah.
And so I did pledge Delta Sigma Theta while I was in undergrad, and all of that kind of worked in together. So I appreciated that experience as well.
Well, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
You're
having
wonderful.
me.